You got this. Don't think that you're not producing enough, because you are. Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for joining. If you've been here before, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because if you've been here before, that means you like me and I like you too. But let me jump right into the content. So today we're going to be discussing, as you see in the title, what to expect when it comes to breastfeeding. For me, I was really thrown off in the beginning of my breastfeeding journey. I started back in November of 2020, and it wasn't too bad, but it was just like overwhelming because people don't talk about breastfeeding enough. When you hear about breastfeeding, you only hear about the positive things from it, which is good because we want to promote breastfeeding as much as possible because it's the best thing for the baby. If you decide to use formula, that's okay too. You're still a great mother. Trust me, you're still nourishing your baby. You're just doing it that way. But for me, I chose to breastfeed because of all of the benefits that it gives to me and to my baby. But some things that you want to expect is your milk supply. Your milk supply is going to seem like it's very, very low. A lot of women think that you're supposed to have like ounces and ounces of milk just flowing out of you, and that's not necessarily true. Some women do off the back have a lot of milk that just comes out from the beginning, but for me, I didn't have any milk coming out, and it was like probably day 3. We came home from the hospital. She did fine in the hospital because the first 2 to 3 days is usually colostrum. Colostrum is a thick substance that has a lot of nutrients for the baby, and the little amount that you get is the perfect amount for the baby. Some women off the back come with full-blown breast milk. Like it's coming out quick and soon and right away, but some of us, we just get like colostrum. Everybody gets colostrum, but some people produce milk at the same time. So for me, I only had colostrum in the first 2 to 3 days. And by the 3rd day, we came home, and my baby during the night, she was screaming. There was nothing we could do to calm her down. And my husband, he would give me breaks so I can get rest because she'd be up all night just sucking on me and not getting anything. And from her sucking on me all night, I developed chapped, bleeding nipples because my body never been through anything like this. So expect also to have some chapped nipples, bleeding possibly, but you get through that and it's all worth it. It's all worth it, I promise. And my husband realized that her tongue was dry. I don't know what made him check, but I guess he had those good daddy instincts. But he checks and her tongue was super dry. And so he told me to call the hospital to see what the lactation specialist consultant would say. And that's what I did. And they said, your baby is on the verge of being dehydrated. Your milk hasn't come in yet. And so at that point, I was confused, like, bruh, what? How am I not producing anything? I felt defeated, low-key. And so this video is just to give new moms a heads up that breastfeeding is wonderful, breastfeeding is beautiful, but you have to be patient with yourself. You have to understand that your body may not produce what you expect it to produce. But just because it's not producing what you expect it to do, it doesn't mean that it's not producing what it's supposed to produce. Whatever your body produces is usually enough for your baby. If you feel like it's not enough, then you can supplement, which is what I had to do. So since by day 3, my milk was super low, it wasn't coming in quick enough for my baby's needs, I ended up supplementing. I supplemented formula probably like 1 bottle or 2 bottles a day in the beginning. and then the other feedings I breastfed and I pumped. Whenever you breastfeed and pump on demand, it tells your body, it alerts your body, it signals it to produce the milk. So until my body was fully signaled to produce the milk, I was able to supplement, and then my milk ended up coming in. It probably took like 3 to 4 months before my milk supply fully came in and I was able to stop supplementing. Supplementing is okay. Don't beat yourself up if you have to supplement. You're doing what you have to do for your baby. Okay? Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is what I was just saying. A lot of moms think, oh, I'm only pumping out 2 to 3 ounces of milk. That's perfect. We put so much pressure on ourselves in the beginning because we don't really truly understand that you are typically not supposed to produce like 10 ounces in one setting. But if you do, it's okay. That just means that you may be overproducing. And some women like that because then they can pump and have a whole bunch set aside. And some women don't like it because they sometimes end up engorged. Engorged is when your breasts are super full and it's like, it feels like there's no way for you to relieve that super full feeling even after pumping, even after feeding the baby. But typically for you to stop feeling engorged, you just have to pump enough to where it's a little bit relieved, and then that's it. Or feed until the baby's done, and then that's it. Don't keep pumping and don't keep feeding thinking that it's gonna be relieved, because when you're engorged, the more you keep feeding and the more you keep pumping, your body is gonna think, oh, she needs more milk, she needs more milk. So then it's gonna keep producing, and then you're gonna keep being overly supplied. So that's the second thing. The third topic that I want to discuss is if you like to put milk aside and you're only getting like 2 to 3 ounces of milk at a time, like per pumping session, and that's me. I'm one of those women that I pump and I only get like 3 ounces. On a good day, I'll get like 5 ounces, and I'm okay with that because that's normal. For me to put aside milk, usually I would just pump in the mornings. You usually have most of your milk supply bright and early in the morning because you've been asleep, the baby's sleeping, and you can pump while the baby's asleep. Or you can pump after each feeding. Like I said previously, the more you pump and feed, the more your body will produce. So if you feed your baby's well fed and nourished, and then you pump as soon as you finish, then your body will produce more milk and you'll be able to store whatever amount that you get from that pumping session for later feedings. Even if it's only an ounce. Sometimes I'll feed my baby and then pump, and I'll only get like an ounce from each side, and that's perfectly fine. Each ounce matters. Each ounce adds up. So don't pressure yourself too much about the ounces. Next thing I wanted to discuss was whenever you see that your baby is only drinking like a certain amount of ounces, typically around like 3 ounces, 4 ounces is normal. I think probably like 2 months and up, they start drinking like 3 ounces. When they're like one month and like a very newborn, they don't drink much at all because their stomach is so small and it's still developing and still figuring out how to digest everything. So with my first baby, all the other people in my family that aren't really like familiar with breast milk and breastfeeding, they would be like, that is not enough milk. That is not enough milk. She only drinking 3 ounces. But if you actually look into it, you'll find that your breast milk, it changes based on the nutrients your baby needs. So if your baby is only able to keep down 3 ounces and they're full from the 3 ounces, they're getting all the nutrients and everything that they need to become full from those 3 ounces, because your body, it's like everything is in sync. Your body is reading what the baby needs and the baby's getting it. So I just wanted to come on here and encourage all the new moms that are going into the breastfeeding journey to don't freak out. You got this. Don't think that you're not producing enough, because you are. Don't think because you have to supplement that you're not a good mom or that you're not doing a good job. You're doing perfectly fine. And if you don't want to supplement, you can eventually stop supplementing. Just keep working with yourself. I would like to talk about breastfeeding and how I've learned that some women, they lose weight easily breastfeeding. And some women, like myself, are the opposite. You either gain or you just stay. Your weight just stays on until you stop breastfeeding. Hopefully this video helps you guys. And if you would like for me to go in depth of each point that I brought up, I can do that. Just let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.